going to go over this. This is going to be my final recap. I'm going to show you the decks and everything. Okay, rule of the Casey Cup Stage 2. Sylvans will be the most played competitively. At least, if you could go first and they set a face down Mushroom, can your deck handle it? That's how we basically rated decks. And ideally, they go first instead of Mushroom. The expectation is that they will mill a Marsh Leaf, a Mushroom, and a Rose Lover, which will lead into a Guardio Kerm Tree. And basically, we kind of rated our decks based off of that. Based off of that, we said that Sylvans can at least deal with that. And Sylvans, the core build for Sylvans I have is, we go all the way down to Sylvans. You want to play Restart. I recommend you play 3 to 5 back row. I believe the core for the deck, if you want to play Sylvans, is 3 Mushroom, 3 Marsh Leaf, 3 Rose Lover, at least 1 Carrot, at least 2 Guardioak, at least 1 Herm Tree, and at least 2 Ultimate Providence / Divine Wrath. Some kind of way to out to Mushroom, but you know, just like that. Now, if you want to fill out the core, ideally filling out the core, you're going to fill it with Econs, a 2nd Carrot, a 2nd Herm Tree, a 3rd Guardioak, a 3rd Divine Wrath / Providence. Now, for surprise factor, other cards could maybe do Magical Merchant, but then you just want to play 2 back row. Lotus Swain is probably the more competitive choice to play to refill your graveyard back into your deck. A lot of people in the early days of Sylvans played Jar of Avarice. I believe that's the name of the card, where they would shuffle 5, draw 1. Lotus Swain is better. Truths of Doom could be a decent card. Chalice, Hate-Unade, Raging Plants. I'm not really for Raging Plants or even Hate-Unade. I'm more for Lotus Swain and probably Chalice. So those are options. So we go back up to our notes. Now we're going to go back to the best deck, Geargia. These are the best decks, the top 3 recommendations. Geargia. Geargia can kind of ideally deal with Sylvans. A turn 1 set Sylvans if you Ties of the Brethren. And they could definitely at least deal with Sylvans because they consistently can have an anchor on the field and then you just have another Geargia and then pop the face down Mushroom. So it's very consistent with them at least dealing with Sylvans, but you know, it's going to be sometimes ideally. You got to kind of hope that they mill poorly or that you open Ties of the Brethren. Now, how do you play Geargia? You can also play... You can play Restart or Balance. Restart or Balance. You could play 0 Ties, but I would prefer that you play Sylvan / Mask Heroes if you don't have Ties of the Brethren. The core of the deck, I would say, is 3 Pulse Mine, 3 Ties. Let me show you the deck list I ended up on playing as a sample deck list if you want to use it yourself. The one I ended up on playing, I'm looking. This is the one. This is what I ended up on playing. Now, it's not playing Chalice, and Chalice is a very good option, and Chalice is also good if they go first against you, so you definitely want to consider Chalice. But this is what I ended up on. Very good, you know, top tier stuff. Only 2 attacker, 3 arsenal, and 3 anchor, playing Balance. Okay, 3 Ties of the Brethren, I feel it's optimal. If you only have 2 Ties of the Brethren, still play 2 Ties. If you only have 1, still play 1. Very good, very powerful. Now your good other cards, besides your core of playing 3 Pulse, 3 Ties, is Econ, Rebirth, and Chalice. Now your tech cards, others, Surprise Factor. You got Desert Sunlight, Spell Absorb, Curse of Anubis, Needle Sealing, Super Rush, Memory Loss, Canadia. My verdict is Geargia is good as pho, even with 1 attacker. That's right, we tested it with 1 attacker. Basically, we took out the 2nd attacker for a Geargia accelerator, and we did not even feel it at all. That's what we got King of Games with 1 attacker. Just to test it out. Maybe you only pulled 1 attacker and you're wondering if you should play Geargia. You definitely could still play with 1 attacker and 3 Ties of the Brethren. Ties of the Brethren with 1 attacker, it worked for me, it will work for you, but it's not ideal. You want at least 2 attacker. If you don't have Ties, play Sylvans as Mask. Okay, that's my notes for Sylvans. Let's go up to Masked Heroes. Masked Heroes can ideally deal with Sylvans with Mask Change or Chalice. Chalice is Chalice is like a tech card, but it's more than that in Masked Heroes because it works with your Masked Hero Anki. When you attack directly in the damage step, you can boost it to 3200 and they take the full damage. Very powerful. Now, how do you ideally deal with Sylvans with mass change? The match you just watched me play, whoever I played against, they did misplay. They did not play mass change correctly and it costed them the game. What went wrong? Basically, I flipped up Mushroom and they chained mass change. That's a big mistake. You want to chain mass change to the Marsh Leaf or the Ku Mushroom. Okay? So you want to wait till I target before you flip up mass change, not before. But this is different against Geargias. So against Sylvans, you wait till they target, but against Geargias, you can't wait till they target. Because they don't target. If they flip up an anchor, they're going to destroy your monster no matter what. So if they have anchor, destroy one monster on your side of the field, and you have two monsters, you have to wait until he destroys the monster, then you can mass change the other one. But with Sylvans, you want to do it after they target. So it's a big difference. They don't target, and they do target. So Masked Heroes, how do you want to play Masked Heroes? We're going to scroll down to Masked Heroes. The core of Masked Heroes, you're playing Restart. This is the Fusion variant. I do not think that the Destiny Calling variant is the way to go. I think this is the best way to play Masked Heroes. Destiny Calling is an easier way to play the deck. If the Fusion variant is confusing for you, you don't know how to use Polymerization, you don't know how to use Vian, then sure, play whatever is most comfortable for you, but this is the best way to play it. Your core cards are 2 Decider, 3 Celestial, 2 Vian, 1 Dreamer, 3 Mass Change, 1 Poly. Now to fill out the core, ideally, you want a 3rd Decider or a 3rd Vian. You could play 2 Malicious. It's basically Malicious versus, you know, playing more of these. You could even go an even lower monster count if you don't play Malicious. Maybe you just want to play a 3rd Vian, keep it at 2 Decider. Destiny Draw is good, especially if you're playing Malicious. And if I'm not playing Malicious, I kind of lean towards not playing Destiny Draw. Now, Enemy Control is good, Chalice is good, Cosmic Cyclone is good, a 2nd Poly is good, and even Hey True Nade is good. These are good core fills. Now, Surprise Factor, Super Rush, Wall of D. As you saw me when I was playing against Masked Heroes myself, I was running into Wall of D. Like, there was no Wall of D, but if there ever was a Wall of D, there were so many moments where I straight up lost. So I think Wall of D will still get you a lot of free wins. It's a great surprise, but good players, they will see the delays. They'll know that it's likely a Wall of D. They'll play around it. So that's good. And here's a sample build on screen I'll put for Masked Heroes, and I'll even say a disclaimer with it that I do not think that this is the ideal. Like, this isn't like this is not the build I settled on. This is just the last one I played on stream. If I made changes, you know, Malicious did not work out too well for me. I would maybe cut out Malicious and just cut 2 and probably put in 2 Econ and like just keep the rest. I know that's crazy. That puts you at a pretty low monster count. I would probably take out the 2nd Poly for a 3rd. I might play 3 Econ, 3 Chalice, 3 Mask. Well, I'd cut the Destiny Draw too. Probably I would, you know, add another monster. I don't know. I'm trying not to be confusing, but Malicious is very good. It won the YCS, the MCS. So something like this. Maybe you want to do 2 Econ, 2 Chalice, take out the Poly, do that, mix it up. It's all good. Okay. So let's get off of that. Masked Heroes, very good, top tier deck. So those are the top 3 deck types that you want to play. Sylvans, Masked Heroes, Geargia, very good. Now let's get to the rest. Now, Cyber Angels, they could ideally deal with Sylvans with Dkayed, but they straight up lose to Decider, and Pulse Mines is really bad to deal with. It sucks. Pulse Mines is ridiculous. Do I have a sample build of Cyber Angels for you guys? Let me see. The good sample build could be something like this. Let me put it up on screen. Give me a second. I'm not sure if this is it. Just hold on, let me look, because I can't really see on the picture. This is an example of a good build for Cyber Angels. You could also play this with Restart. you could cut a Petite Angel, and here's what you could cut. You could cut Petite and or Saphir. If you cut Saphir, you can go down to 2 Hymn of Light. You could cut a Senju, and you could add in like 2 Econs or 2 Hey Trunade. I don't really recommend playing Cyber Angels though, unless you are very experienced with them and know what you're doing. So this is not me saying, hey, head in with Cyber Angels, you're gonna have a fun time. You're probably not. You're gonna lose to a lot of stuff, and you're probably not gonna set up your field properly, all that good stuff. Now, Archfiends, we did very well with Archfiends. Let me show you an example of an Archfiend build. Archfiends can ideally deal with Sylvans. Consistency is an issue with Archfiends though. As you saw with Wayne, you either dominate or you get dominated. There's no in between. You don't have like an average game with Archfiends. You're crazy or you're nothing. Let me look at my Archfiend build for you guys. Here's an example Archfiend build that you could play. This is a very good option for the KC Cup to play Archfiends. Now, some players are sneaking in an Invader of Darkness. I believe that's the name of the card, where it stops quick play cards. That could be a good option, or you could just keep it core like this. You could possibly cut the Monster Gate for another Lila. You could cut cards for Fiend Griefing. Fiend Griefing shuffles a card in their graveyard into the deck and allows you to put an Emperor in your graveyard, or maybe put that Empress or Cavalry. Damn it! Usually you want to restart. If you have if you don't have a way to special summon an Emperor from the grave, you pretty much restart. What you don't restart is like Call the Archfiend. That's good on its own. With Archfiend Roar, you're gonna want it with a Lila or with a Needlebug Nest. This is a very powerful deck, very good. Next up is Sea Stealth Attack. Sea Stealth Attack, you can ideally deal with Sylvans with an Abyss Soldier, but you're going to be worried about Geargia and Mass Heroes. Just overall, did not test too well. Gianna dominated with it. I did do very well in the ladder. I just think it's just not going to be too good of an option. I would probably recommend Aliens over Sea Stealth Attack, even though Aliens do not have a good way to deal with Sylvans outside of Chalice. But let me show you. I mean, you got 3 Chalice versus 3 Abyss Soldier, so it's almost pretty much even. You know, Abyss Soldier's better to deal with it. So let me show you the best way for you to play Sea Stealth Attack if you want to play that. But as I'm telling you this, I'm recommending you play Sylvans, Geargia, or Masked Heroes. This is only if you do not have access to one of these top 3 decks, okay? Now, which one do you recommend? Sylvans, Geargia, or Masked Heroes? If you are... I would say I would base it off your skill level. And let's say you have access to all 3 of these top tier decks. You have every single card. If you are very confident in your skills as a player, I would probably recommend Mass Heroes. Next, I would recommend Geargia. Then I would recommend Sylvans for skill level. So if you're not very skilled at the game, or you're not good at focusing and delays, all that stuff, then play Sylvans. Then next up, I'd play Geargia, because you know what? Checking delays does not really, it's not even a big deal when you're playing Geargia. You pretty much, you flip up, you flip down. You don't care about their delays unless you're playing around Ultimate Providence. That's the main thing you gotta play around. Masked Heroes, you need to know when you gotta go off. Masked Heroes, you can go all in and you could fail horribly. You have to really think what Masked Heroes, you have to set up your Celestial. You have to set up your Masked Hero play correctly. You gotta know when to attack directly, maybe just do that every turn. So that's it. This is the most skilled deck, second most skilled, least skilled. Play it in that order, whatever you're most comfortable with, okay? But these are all almost equally going to do very well in the KC Cup. All right, back to Sea Stealth Attack. I don't know if I showed you the deck. Here we go. This is the Sea Stealth Attack deck that you should play if you're going to play Sea Stealth Attack. Very good, very good. But Aliens, I enjoyed Aliens much more. I did much better with Aliens in my testing. And this is my Alien deck. This is the Alien deck. 3 Chalice, 3 Powerful Rebirth, 3 Econ. Now you could take out Alien Kid for the 3rd Alien Telepath if you want to. Alien Kid is great for dumping in the grave. And you could Powerful Rebirth it, chain it to a Mass Change, or anytime a special summon's gonna happen, you could get him out with Powerful Rebirth and start putting tokens on their monsters. If you're gonna play Aliens, you're gonna need your calculator. You guys already know that. It is a very good deck, it's very powerful. it could OTK very easily. Like if you open with an alien and an econ and recombination, all that stuff, you could, you know how the deck works. You can go off. It's crazy. It's just out of nowhere. It's a good deck. I would definitely play aliens if you don't have access to the top 3. That's a top pick. Magnets and Red Eye Zombie, I didn't really go into. Basically, Omega Lull and Red Eye Zombie ... So no thank you. Dark Worlds, Volcanics, Hazy, Fishes, Arrow Mages. I'm not going to tell you what the ideal builds are these because I'm not recommending them at all. But if you do not have access to the rest of these decks and you want to have fun in the KC Cup, sure, play these. But your absolute fallback is these decks. Maybe you've been playing these forever. Maybe you're really good with Magnets. Maybe you're really good with Red Eye Zombie. It's always done well for you. You could fall back on these. Maybe you're afraid of change and you're afraid of change. You don't want to try new stuff out. Then you know what? Stick to these. Have fun with that. So these are the decks you can have fun with while still dealing with Sylvans. Dark Worlds can ideally deal with them. Volcanics, Hazy, kind of if you go full nut. All right. In the Sylvan meta, what's the generic back row / tech cards you're gonna have to, the great cards are Enemy Controller and Chalice. They're great. Decent cards, Cosmic Cyclone, Super Rush. Not so good, almost any trap. But Wall of D still may be worth it as a big surprise. Mirror Wall is good versus Hatronade, but you know what? No one's really playing that. No one. I mean, you're worried about Cyber Angels? Come on. Now, before I get to why should you care about the KC Cup, I'm going to tell you in a second. So let me skip all that real quick. Skip all this. Now, what's that back row? It's kind of the same as the generic back row thing, but you're going to want to know delays with this. Remember that if there's a delay and you have no monster on your side of the field, then it's not Econ. Econ can only be used on your monster, okay? It activate on your summon, your end phase, on their attack. Chalice, like other cards that activate in the damage step, it's a little different. This one could be activated. This one will give you a prompt on attack declaration. So it's attack declaration and damage step. Want to play around that. The big thing with Providence is if they activate their own monster effects, they can negate their own monster effects. So if you see a delay when their own monster effect activates, you're going to think of Providence or Divine Wrath. So that's a big deal right there. And then delays with Mass Change. There's, like I told you, the Mass Hero players need to be smart. They can't just play Mass Change right away. So you really have to guess if there's a Mass Change or not. And sadly, it still sometimes may be a Wall of Disruption. You still got to play around Wall of Disruption sometimes, but you know what? Risk versus reward. You can't always just play around it. And me telling you that means that you playing this yourself could be very beneficial, because that's right. The good players can't always just play around this for the wins. And then if you're playing against Cyber Angels, you're going to have to play around Hatronade. This is more relevant for, like, if you're playing Archfiends, you might have to flip up your Needlebug Nest early, because if they Hatronade, all your cards go back to your hand right then and there. You can't change. Like, some people think you could do this. Like, people get tripped up in chat. They think that, oh, you could Needlebug and then activate your other trap to get what you dump. No, Hatronade, it's all in one chain. It's not going to happen. So be careful of that. Now, let's go all the way up to why should I care about the KC Cup? Only top 600, not global. It's for your region. Get an invite to the World Champ Qualifier. What's the World Champ Qualifier? Now, unofficially, based off my experience, first place global, a bunch of, NA, global, all the KC Cups I've been to, I think that the World Champ Qualifier is going to be like a KC Cup. Top 2 to 3 of your region will get a free trip to Japan, plus a goodie bag, minimum $5,000 value, all of that. Now, the real value of the KC Cup is, what is it? What's the value of the KC Cup? The rewards are trash. They truly are. The prismatics, the gold, the icon, trash. Getting top 600 region is a joke. I truly believe you all could do it. I believe in you. We have however many viewers now. All of you can get top 600 region to qualify for the World Champ Qualifier. I guarantee you it's easy. Now, why should I care? You just told me this is easy. You told me the rewards are trash. Why should I care? Well, this KC Cup is confirmation that you are good enough to go to Japan. If you could get top 5 of your region in this weekend, then you are a true contender for Japan. You know you're good enough, okay? This is basically confirmation that you could handle 3 days of non-stop dueling, 3 days of not being tilted, 3 days of eating and sleeping well and being focused and adapting to the meta and playing well and not misplaying. It's tough. It's mentally really tough. You're probably going to need 300 plus games to even contend for the top 10 spot. Some people had 600 plus games. That's crazy. At 300 games, 6-minute average, that's like 30 hours. So that's 30 hours in 3 days. That's 10 hours in a day. 600 games is somehow 60 hours in 3 days, 20 hours a day. That's fucking nuts. Okay. The World Champ qualifier is in May, 1 month after this. What should I do with my gems? What should I do? Ideally, if you're asking me this question, this means you do not have a lot of money to spend on this game. You're not willing to spend a lot of money on this game, or you don't have a lot of gems to spend. Well, if you're in this situation where you're not willing to spend a lot of money on this game, ideally you save your money and gems for the World Champ qualifier and not this KC Cup. Okay, save it for the World Champ qualifier. Don't spend it on this KC Cup. The meta could possibly shift or change, or ban list, or a new box set changes everything. You don't know. You don't know. This is the Sea Stealth Attack situation where a lot of people dumped money and gems on Sea Stealth Attack while it was the best deck, and now it's not. So use this KC Cup to practice your no life, no friends, no sleep, no girlfriend schedule to see if you're worthy, and that's it. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Here was my KC Cup guide from the last time, so I'm wishing you guys good luck. So what is all? Okay. So I was recommending decks, so we could take off that. Here's the toggle guide. You may just want to screenshot this or just look back into it. I don't think there's much for me to update here. The delay guide. A lot of these cards are not relevant on the delay guide. So that, all this stuff, okay? This is when a delay happens to predict cards. This is good to have on the side, so you don't even have to think. You could look at this, but a lot of these cards are not too relevant they're not gonna be relevant in this KC Cup. General KC Cup tips: stay calm, don't get frustrated. Your brain can't function optimally when upset / insulted. They've done studies on this. If you have a teammate and they mess up and you make fun of them or you criticize them in the middle of the game, you're not completely shutting off, but you're screwing up with a big part of his brain. The performance part of the brain starts suboptimally working just from your insult. If you gave positive encouragement, then that wouldn't have happened in their brain and they would perform much better. So it works on yourself, where you get mad at yourself or you're afraid to look stupid to your opponent. Take small breaks. Don't give in to ladder anxiety. I know it's really easy to play a lot of games in a row, and it's really hard to start playing when you take a break. It really is. I know from my experience, when you take a break, you're thinking, if I could keep waiting, or if I play a game and I lose, I'm gonna regret that I shouldn't have waited. You need a total 300 plus games anyway, okay? If you took a break and you play a game and you lose, that loss was waiting to happen. Do not beat yourself up over it. Just keep playing. The most consistent player is going to end up winning anyway, and you're either going to be consistent or not. There's no regrets with queuing up. Just play. But in a nice focused mindset. Okay, some idiot is spamming the Trump emote right here as we're talking. And yeah, keep this guide, a calculator near you. That's it, guys. That's it. Any other questions? Are you guys good?